Welcome back to another episode of Paint Society, guys. Today we're going to be discussing, is it really worth it to buy one of these at-home inflatable paint booths? I'm going to take you through everything you're going to need to know so you can make the best possible decision when going ahead and purchasing something just like this. Now, with inflatable booths, there's many different sizes, but getting one into the home garage is ideally what I wanted to do, and I really did push the limits here. This is a 21-foot long, by 13 wide by 9. Now I'm pushing 9 on the ceiling. It does hit some of the garage door openers, but since it is flexible because it is air driven and portable in that regard, well, you can move it around just a little bit if you need, and it really doesn't seem to tamper with anything. Now this thing comes in a carry bag, but you'll never be able to get it really back into that carry bag unless you're a pretty good wrapper, and that's just not what I am. So we're gonna go ahead and blow it up. It uses one blower for this particular booth, but all of the sew and flaw booths are just a little bit different. And what I mean by that is this particular booth, it only uses one heavy duty air blower, but it does have an extra tunnel if you want to force in more air. Now, once I get it all blown up, I'll show you how it moves air, and I'm gonna show you the best way to get the air out of these in the overspray, because guys, these are very cloudy when it comes to painting. Let's blow this thing up. You can see it blows up in just seconds, and you can do it with one person. Sometimes it gets a little bit off-centered, but just really easy to move it around. And it has these little vent holes right here that you can unzipper if you want to release some air. The only real issue I run into is getting the car in here. I need to deflate it just enough to allow the garage door to open up and then put the car in. Of course, you can extend the rails higher, but for something this minor, it's not worth the money, especially just because we just replaced our garage doors. Now, if we look in here, we have good lighting inside of the garage. So we did our lighting project already, and the lighting inside of the paint booth is pretty good. And being that it is a white spray booth, this particular one, the light travels right through it. You have these big, open, clear windows, so to speak, really lets the light in. Now over here, we ran out of a lot of space. You can see this, but I was very surprised that even with it kind of kinked, it's still got enough pressure to keep this completely dense and taut and full of air. So if you want to really extend and make more air to push in through the booth, you'd have to hook up another blower to this. Let me show you inside. So this option right here, it doesn't have the actual little mini spray mixing area, so it's just booth. Now, I will never in my life recommend that you spray a whole car in one of these booths. It's way too much. I recommend one of these booths for small repair, okay? Now, this is the smallest you want to go with one of these booths, okay? If your garage isn't big enough and you're gonna do this outside, get a bigger booth. You have more space, it's going to do more for you. So let's say that we're doing our driver's side. I only got about 2 feet here, and I've only got about 2 feet here. And what I would probably do is, if I was spraying the driver's side, I would want to get at least 3 feet over here. So in that case, I would move the whole booth over towards the left side, so that when you pull the car in, you would have, let's say, the edge of the right side of the booth just about ever so slightly right here, so you can gain that space, okay? Now, just remember, I'm only ever doing any paint jobs in this booth for the YouTube channel. We are not running a business out of our home. We are not doing that. We have our professional environment for that. But for you guys at home, some of you need to see example of how these things work and make a logical decision as to whether you should buy them. And that's just what we're going to be doing here. Small repair, turbine repair, small things, and filtering our air appropriately before it hits the atmosphere. And that's just what we have here. So Filtration is a big part of any of these spray booths. Well, is it better just to buy PVC and plastic? That might work for you based off your garage, but in seconds, guys, we got a paint booth. I mean, how much better does it get than that? Now over here, you can see that they have told you that if you want to increase airflow, all you have to do is open up that zipper more and it's going to increase the airflow. But I'm going to be 100% honest. You should never buy this booth without buying the elephant trunk and the exhaust explosion-proof fan. That right there is not enough airflow to push the air out of a filter, okay? You need to manually suck it out, okay? We need the little bit of positive pressure and a lot of that negative to really suck it out. And that's the only way that you're ever going to have any sorts of success with one of these booths. Now, one thing I do love about having it in the garage is that we are under AC controlled environment, meaning that in the paint booth, we're running around 80 degrees, 75 degrees, and that is beautiful temperature for spraying a car. And we have beautiful lighting. Now, if we come over to these exhaust filters, now when you remove this is just a covering, and this is the actual cover for the filter that you can replace. So all of our overspray is being filtered. Now, I'm gonna show you guys what the elephant trunk looks like. We're gonna be adding that to this actual filter right here. You'll see that in our next coming videos. We have our explosion-proof fan. We have our tunnel to route out the overspray. We want to make sure that we are sucking out the overspray from the paint booth. We cannot rely on a positive pressure pushing it out. It doesn't have enough force to push it out, and it's just going to sit in the booth. And that's not something we want when it comes to painting. Overspray that sits, it lands on your paint, and then it's going to make it dry and yucky and crusty, and we don't want that. So the quicker you can get the overspray out, the better the paint job. So we'll see that in future videos. We're going to put on one elephant trunk, and I think we're even going to order two. Maybe we can get this thing working like a real professional spray booth. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got so far for our elephant trunk. So I'm always going to show you the best possible way to paint a home, and it might be a little bit more pricey, but if you're serious about doing projects here and there in your home garage or whatever it might be, you need to go explosion-proof everything. The internals of this motor are encased completely, so if there's any sparks or anything, it's completely encased. You're not going to have to worry about igniting anything, okay? There's another fan that looks identical to this one. It's not explosion-proof. Make sure you spend a little bit more money. Get the explosion-proof fan. It's a very, very important option to get. Also, this is the ventilation tunnel. So basically, this will connect to the fan, and then you can route it out one way or another. And once it's leaving this tunnel, well, what's going to happen is it's sending only clean air back out. So I actually have two of those. It's flexible ducts. I put these in the description as well. Now, the only thing that we're waiting on is that actual steel cage. I thought I had one. I think it got lost in the move. So we went ahead and I ordered another one. This is the trunk that goes with it, okay? So this is the casing that you saw in the picture there. And that's all basically that we are waiting on. If you take a look over here, this is the other fan, but it's not explosion proof. They look exactly the same. So we might just take that and make it a nice fan. One thing I do recommend is tying up this spray booth. Now, if you lose power, this thing is coming down quick. I'm going to show you that, because once it loses power, it completely deflates and there's no way to keep it from staying up. So it has little hooks here, so you have rafters in your ceiling. If you're doing this inside, make sure you tie these up. That's something that I plan to do when it comes time to finishing up the Corvette. Very, very, very important. I'm gonna hit the button. Check out how quick this thing will deflate. All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it's already touching the car. Now it will deflate, and if you want to let air out quicker, you can do that. And then you can kind of just move it over for a little bit of storage. Personally, for me, if I'm going to be working on my project, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to paint my whole Corvette inside of the inflatable booth. I'm going to paint it in sections. I'm going to be very smart about it. As a painter, I know that working in an environment like this is not going to grant me professional results if I try to do the same thing I do at the body shop. I don't have a professional style spray booth here. I have something that we can make work, so we got to be smart. So by painting the door and the quarter panel one time, I'm limiting the amount of overspray. I'm going to get a cleaner finish. I'm going to be able to see what I'm doing, all right? And I'll be able to filter a lot more of that air quicker and more efficiently before it hits the atmosphere. And that's very important. You need to be able to filter your air before it gets out, because we want to make sure that there's no contaminants getting into our atmosphere. Very, very important when dealing with one of these spray booths, or if you're painting, no matter what. So it's already down, your paint job is ruined. Make sure you tie it up before you go ahead and ruin something. I told you there's so many things that go wrong. Prevent the things that you can prevent. And here is the Corvette that you guys have been following on the channel. It's almost been a year project now, and you can see it's not looking too good here, but it's pretty much ready for paint in the back. Just a little bit of primer on those body filled areas. But check this out, guys. We did this in that same inflatable paint booth, and we did this in sections. We had taken all these parts off, and look at that. This is the Eastwood OEM Select paint. This thing's got great gloss. I know the lighting might not be perfect, but we're making progress on this thing, and we did it all from home. I mean, look at the reflection here. Now, I did run over it with just a little bit of 2000. It didn't really even need it, but I wanted this to really, really look good. It's the main focal point of the vehicle. We're doing a color change on here, and you can check that out. Like, this one's not even buffed, and that's right off of the gun. That's with the Eastwood show car clear. That's right off of the gun. The hood obviously is going to get a little bit of dirt here and there, but not too much to really talk about. Not enough that 2000 couldn't take it out. But anyways, yeah, so what we're going to be doing with this vehicle is we're doing it in sections. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves. We're going to be doing a door and a quarter panel together. And then after it's painted, we'll mask it up a few days later or whatever it is. This is a home project. We'll do this area, one shot, and then we'll do this area. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves. We're going to paint this very, very smart. And we're going to do it in sections using the same ground coat so that the color will be exactly the same and we won't have to worry about any mismatch. And we're going to show you the rest of the project on the channel, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel, the notifications on so you don't miss a thing. Things up. I can't wait to get the Corvette back into the spray booth. Just a little bit more work on that filler area, and you guys are going to see everything happen here. It's always fun to humble yourself once again and get back to where it all started, working at home. I'm going to show you some of those tips and tricks, guys. When you're at home, things are a little bit different than they are in a professional environment, but I can guarantee you something. We're going to get a killing stunner paint job out of this one, okay? Sometimes it's a little bit different when you're working at home, but I'm going to show you all those little tips and tricks to get a stunning paint job. We already did it with the hood and the fender. Well, we just need to move it along with the rest of the vehicle. Guys, make sure you subscribe, and don't forget to check out the rest of the channel for awesome videos that might help you out. Guys, this is Brian from Paint Society reminding you, don't overthink it. It's just paint. I'll see you guys on the next episode. I got to set this thing back up.